Hello and welcome to the English Matura Express, the express to your success. My name is Maria and today we have 2 demonstration exams for you. Hello and welcome back. As I've already told you, today we have 2 demonstration exams about the topic the working world. So let's start with the first one, which is about stress management and going green at work. So at first there is the introduction. So you will be asked some questions about your career, future, etc. It's important to use the correct tense here. Yeah, then we have task 1, which is the monologue. And in this case, it's about stress management. So who are we? You are a psychologist and specialist in dealing with stress management at work. A British company has invited you to their annual company meeting to talk about this topic. Okay, so now you, as an expert on stress and stress management, of course, have to talk about first the reasons why people are stressed at work. Yeah, I know why. The negative impacts of stress and strategies to deal with stress at the workplace. So that's part 1, the monologue. So your speech. Then let's move on to task number 1, which is going green at work. I think that's a very recent and current topic because, you know, Fridays for future, we want to save the planet. So why don't we go green at work? Good. So here you have again an article to read. It's about 11 easy ways to go green at work without putting in that much effort. So please do the effort and read this article, and then yeah, we have a discussion about it. So again, very important, read the article, get the main message, get out some strategies and some information, and then you are good to go. Then of course there is the last part, the follow-up discussion. This again, there you can expect some questions from the examination board about about the topic, the working world. So that's it. Yeah, I hope you can see the link to it if you want to read it. Chris, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Great.
Let's switch.
Oh, now I'm gone. Now I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you, Okay.
Okay.
Good. So can we start? Are you ready to start?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Christoph, and I've been
Sick?
No, I've been working as a mechanic in the past, and so I did the apprenticeship, and then I decided to leave my company and do the A-levels and become a teacher in geography and history.
Okay, and that's why you want to do the A-levels today?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So you didn't like your job back as a mechanic? Or?
Yes, I did like it, but I needed some change, and yeah.
And maybe longer holidays, so now you want to be a teacher?
Yes.
Sounds good. Okay, so now let's move on to task number 1, the monologue. So whenever you're ready, you may deliver your speech.
Yes. I'm sorry. Dear ladies and gentlemen, today's talk, it's all about stress management. Since it's very important to have some sort of tools that help you to manage your stress, your daily stress, your stress at your workplace. I'm gonna talk about the reasons why people are stressed initially at work, the negative impact of stress, and strategies to deal with stress at the workplace. So let's start with the first aspect I wanted to talk about, why people are stressed at work. So that has, I think, different and a lot of reasons why people are stressed, but normally it's of course because people might be taking some tasks too serious. They want to do the tasks that they are given in a proper way, and so that's the internal stress, I'd say. So, and an external stress can be caused, of course, by coworkers, but mainly also by your boss, because he or she might give you a lot of tasks, a lot of work to do, and so you think you really have to work hard, and then you get stressed. And yeah, that's a few reasons why people are stressed. And another reason is that people then just are at work and don't have like free time, enjoy themselves, so with doing sports or whatever things they want to do. Negative impacts of stress are basically that people can develop different kinds of diseases. Speaking of psychological diseases, so if you kind of develop a depression or burnout syndrome, like a lot of people have nowadays, or are diagnosed with it.
Sorry.
It can also cause, of course, that you were not able to sleep well, or be aggressive towards your friends. Not it's just because you're you're stressed at work, and then it's your relationship can suffer under it. So ways to deal with stress at the workplace are what I've already mentioned, is sports at your workplace. So you can also do sports at your workplace, so or not like exercising. If you can do, of course, but maybe just go outside, fresh air, and not only sit the whole day in your chair. Move a little bit, move your body, and not only talk about your job, your work you have to do. Think about different things. Maybe listening to music can help you relax and kind of zone out all the stress. Yeah. That's basically it from my talk. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. So now let's move on to task number 2, which is about going green at work. So what is going green at work? Is it to wear a green t-shirt, or what do we understand?
Well, basically going green at work means that not only the employees, also the employers focus on a green lifestyle, which means that they try to reduce their energy consumption, for example, try to reduce their paper consumption, which is in a bureau is like a big thing. So do not print out everything.
Maybe use the paper twice. Maybe if you have just notes, just turn it around. Yeah, that could help.
Use public transport to go to work, or use your bicycle, or just share your car with others. Different reasons, different options are available, basically.
So why should we go green at work? What's the story behind it? So why should people do that?
Basically, of course, it's because of the growing need for change in our modern life. We need to also think about our working places, working spaces where we also consume energy, not only in our private lives, to make the world a better place.
That's right, because we spend, of course, a lot of time at our working place. Yeah, that's right. That makes sense. So, I mean, you talked about going by bike, and what else can we do to save the planet at work?
Well, going by bike, yeah, it's a good thing. I've already talked about it. Maybe planting trees
So at
on
your
the
office,
rooftop or at your office. It's always a good option. It's also good for your reducing stress, I guess. Maybe talk to your employer. Maybe you have some ideas about reducing I don't know, electricity consumption. Or
so yeah, maybe just switch off the lights if you leave your desk or anything like that. What about going for lunch? You know, at work, you often go to, I don't know, you go to places and then you just pick up food.
Yeah.
Is there anything we could do to reduce this problem?
Of course, yeah, there is a way, of course, to bring your own lunch in.
Yeah.
So you don't use that much waste or
that's right.
plastic normally.
Or maybe just bring your own cutlery, so your own fork and knife.
Yeah.
Instead of using plastic ones.
Bring your own boxes, then get the meals and ask if they can put it in there, the place where you take it out. Yeah, basically, if there is something like a canteen, it's like, use it. It's good. And
yeah, so could you imagine doing that at your work? So trying to go green.
Yes, I totally can imagine it. Yeah.
Is there anything you do at the moment good for the environment? Talking about work, so do you go by bus or how do you get to work?
Bicycle, always bicycle.
That's great.
Yes, or bus if it's raining, but
otherwise you
normally bicycle.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
So, now let's have a look at my notes, I'd say. Where is it? Here we have them. Okay, so at first he was able to introduce himself and he used the correct tenses, and I also asked him some questions in between. So why did you quit your job? Okay, so also think about that. Not only prepare a monologue, but also try to be open for questions. Then let's move on to task number 1, the monologue. I have some notes in red. So he had a really good intro because he was able to stress the importance of the topic. So he was able to tell us, okay, why do I talk about this topic? I mean, of course, you have to talk about it because it's an A-level, but it's a good idea to start your presentation like, okay, why do we need to talk about this topic? And then he gave a good overview. So that was fine. Point number 1 was reasons why people are stressed at work. He mentioned a variety of reasons, which is great. And he also talked about internal and external stress factors. That very good vocab, yeah? And he also talked about the neglect of hobbies. So, yeah, so you don't have a work-life balance, a good work-life balance, and that's a reason why people are stressed at work. The negative impacts of stress, he talked about diseases like depression and burnout, and you don't sleep well. I think there's a really good word that he could have mentioned. It's insomnia. It's like your sleeplessness, you have problems sleeping problems, yeah? So maybe that's a word you can look up and include when talking about negative impacts of stress. Then we have strategies to deal with stress at the workplace. He mentioned sports, so exercising on your desk, or just go out and then do some exercises and go to the fresh air and just get up and move. And yeah, he talked about 4 minutes 20, which is great because you have to talk about 4 minutes, and so he did that well. Good. And then we had that dialogue. I don't have a lot of notes because, again, I had to talk, and so that's always a little bit difficult and a little bit tricky. But he was able to define what the green lifestyle is, what going green at work is. And so he talked about this green lifestyle and the importance of it nowadays. And then he also was able to give some examples. Okay, what can we do to go green at work? So pretty good. So that's about it with the first exam. Now let's move on to the second. It's working for success and job interviews. Good. So again, we have the introduction, but I think this time we just skip that because we know he's a mechanic and blah, blah, blah. That's great. Then we have task 1, applying for a job. So who are we? You work as a careers counselor, the mayor of a small town that has a high number of unemployed people has asked you to provide tips for the local community. So again, you are in the role of an expert. This time it's about jobs and careers, and you help them because they have there are a lot of unemployed people and they want to get a job, and so you help them to get one. So this is your audience, and these are your bullet points. Bullet point number 1, how to prepare for a job interview. So think about in terms of, okay, think about what you want to say, dress to impress, various things to do before that. Then how to behave during a job interview. And then also think about typical interview questions, strengths and weaknesses. So I think I think this task is not that difficult because we all kind of know, okay, how to prepare. I mean, probably all of us have been to a job interview before, but still it's important to, again, have this structure and that you are able to talk about it for 4 minutes, which is not that easy, I think, because it's so a basic topic. And I think that when you talk about basic everyday topics, it's more difficult. So you don't underestimate it, yeah? Nicht unterschätzen. Good. So now, what about task number 2? It's working for success. After your talk, you talk to a member of the local council about success. So again, there is an article. It's about the number 1 key to success at work. So how to be successful. What is success? And yeah, that's it. Here is the link again. So read it. It's a quite interesting blog. Not that long. So very nice to read. And oops, there are some good. That's it, I'd say. So Chris, are you ready?
Yes.
Great. So I'd say let's skip task the introduction and just jump into the monologue whenever you are ready. You career counselor.
Yes.
And yeah, good.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'd welcome you to this talk today. Today it's all about job interviews, and since it is the most important thing, I'd say, about getting a job or applying for a job, applying process, let's call it like this, I'm gonna talk about how to prepare for a job interview, how to behave during a job interview, and typical questions, so concerning your strengths and weaknesses. At the beginning, the preparation for a job interview is it is quite easy, but you can follow certain rules. So, of course, preparation, it starts with knowing the company. So, for example, you are applying for a company that produces cars. You might want to look into the models that they are doing or producing. You might want to look into the past models they were producing, the future kind of their concepts and so on. And it always, of course, depends on the department where you're applying, but you should have general knowledge about the company, when it was established and so on. Roughly how many people are there working, if it's a small, a big, or a medium-sized company. Then, of course, maybe revise your CV, what you put in there. Dress appropriately. It depends on the job, of course. Maybe just you don't have to wear a tie, but I think a shirt is okay, and not that used jeans, vintage jeans. No, but it depends on the job, of course. And think about some questions, but we are gonna have a look at the questions anyway. So how to behave during a job interview? Of course, you shouldn't swear. You should use a formal way of, or formal language, not informal, of course. So greet the boss or your future employers appropriately. Just behave differently when and think about that you're not with your friends, so use different vocabulary and so on. It's pretty basic stuff, but it helps you if you kind of get into the zone of preparing. Typical interview questions are basically, I think the most typical question is, why are you the perfect guy or girl for the job? That's very difficult questions you should think about beforehand. And you should also think about your strengths and weaknesses, of course. There shouldn't be too much weaknesses, but too much strengths aren't that good either. So there should be a balance of it. And maybe try to think about that there might be a question like, why have you chosen this job? And why are you interested in this job? Were you interested in the first place? And yeah, I think those are the basic ones. There are a lot more, of course. You can also look them up on the internet. There are a lot of questions. Yeah. Thank you for your attention, and I hope I could help you out with being interviewed.
Thank you. So now let's move on to task number 2, which is about working for success. Not just working. No, not here. But I mean, never mind. I don't have to be here. Okay. Sorry. What is success for you?
Difficult question. I think success is, for me, success is being happy. Yeah. So it's not, maybe for some people, success means that they are successful or that they have a certain position at work. For some people, it's being rich, maybe. For some people, it's doing sports 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Or being able to have a lot of free time, although you're working. It depends, but my own definition is being happy, I guess.
So, but talking about working for success, do you think, how can you achieve success at work? So never mind which job it is. So how can you be successful with what you are doing, whatever job it is? What do you think is important when...
Yeah, I think it is important to do your work in a proper way. So if you're given certain tasks, not only do them fast, but also do them precisely in a precise way, so that it's also good work you're doing, not only
fast work.
Fast work, yeah. That can lead you to success, I guess. But also, I think the social ties in this job where you're at, communicating, networking with the people. What else?
So do you think that teamwork can lead to success? Do you
Yes.
think teamwork is important? Yeah?
Yes, I do, yeah. I do think, yeah, of course, people always think about this individual success, but I think it can also be achieved in a team.
What are some benefits of teamwork?
Well, actually, if you work in a team, for example, you have a big project like, I don't know, graphic design, for example. You can use different people or, kind of divide the work into different parts and give each worker or employee a different task, of course, that suits the employee best. And then you can work efficiently, actually, and it's gonna be more successful than an individual project, I guess.
Okay, and maybe it's also about, okay, you have more opinions, more ideas, maybe that also helps sometimes. In the article, it's also about that, they also write about the passion. The passion is very important. Do you agree? Do you think the passion is important when it comes to being successful at work, so that you are passionate about your work? Or do you think that passion can also lead to burnout because it's...
I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes passion, of course, is important, but some people aren't passionate about their jobs and they're successful.
That's right. So maybe it depends again on the person.
It's about, I think, setting goals and achieving goals. It's more about that, not if you're like setting your goal that you're gonna be the CEO of the company. Maybe it might work out just because of hard work, so not because you're passionate about it.
Okay. So talking about goals and setting your goals, what are your future goals?
Future goals, of course, I have certain goals to reach in the music business, let's call it that way. And being happy, which is success.
Okay, thank you, that's great. So, sorry, I'm not laughing about being happy. Good, so that's about it. Thank you, Chris. So now let's have a look at the notes. Yeah, they are. Good, so again, he was able to start it properly. So he started with the ladies and gentlemen. That's also a really nice way to greeting an audience you don't know and an audience of mixed age. Yeah, because you don't talk to students, you talk to some unemployed people and about you talk, with the local community. So yeah, that's a very good start. Then how to prepare for a job interview accordingly. So he talked about some rules, so knowing the company, so do some research, have a look at their website, what's their philosophy, what's their size, what is your job, and will be your responsibilities, or what would, I mean, you don't know if you get the job, of course, and then dress accordingly, which, as Chris said, depends on the company you want to work for, yeah? But a shirt and good trousers are never bad, I think. Then how to behave during a job interview. He mentioned something very important, mind your language. So again, it depends on the job you apply for, but good language is never bad. And then the typical interview questions. There are many and loads of them. There are some about strengths and weaknesses, so think about them before. Of course, there can be others, but there are, if you Google typical interview questions, there are many interview questions, and you can just think about them beforehand. So that's, I think, a very good tip of Chris, of our careers counselor. And then he talked about the balance. So don't only talk about things you can do or things you cannot do. Because otherwise, when you only talk about your strengths, it might seem that you like to show off, which is also not that great. And to show interest. That's very important as well. He talked about 4 to 5 minutes, so 4 minutes 50. Again, great length. And then we talked about working for success. I don't have notes here. I think it was a very interesting discussion because, of course, when talking about success, that's very complex, and it's not everybody has the same definition of success. And he talked about that it's also important to be happy, which I think is a really good approach, a really healthy approach to life, probably. Just to be happy, and don't only think about work and about your position, about money, but also think about your health and about your well-being, yeah, which is the same than wealth. But yeah, so that was quite interesting, and maybe that's a good task for you now. Write us in the comments what you think is success, or what is being successful for you. Is it just to pass the A-levels? Or do you have any big future goals? Do you have some goals in music? So do you want to, I don't know, become a singer or whatever? Are there any goals you really want to achieve? And how can you do that? I mean, you don't have to tell us everything, but what is success for you? So that's about it, I think, for today. If you have any questions, please just write it in the comments and we will answer them immediately. Or we try to do that. And yeah, so hit the like button, please, and subscribe. And don't forget to write in the comments what is success for you. And then that's it. Bye-bye and thank you.